produce and move with ease as we desire. And unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, what you see here in Busia, what you see in Malaba, is the same situation in Namanga, in Isabania, in all these other places, Mr. Speaker. And it's really unfortunate. I want to urge the members of the Trade Committee, members of Transport Committee, that have better and finer details on this topic, Mr. Speaker, that you speak up actually on this matter, that beyond just raising our voices here in Busia, even as we return back to Nairobi, engage these decision makers, KRA, Ministry of Finance, Mr. Speaker. This motion is calling on them to feed this institution with a 90-day rapid plan on how this can be concluded, Mr. Speaker, so that even counties can benefit as well. There was a conversation yesterday about how Busia as a county can tap into the opportunities that exist therein. But there's no business opportunity with this level of disorganization, Mr. Speaker. By the time people get here, they are tired, they are frustrated, they are angry, Mr. Speaker. They don't even want to trade with you, Mr. Speaker. Kenya leads the way in this EAC community, Mr. Speaker. And whenever we do our things correctly, the rest of the partner states are pushed actually by their citizens to replicate what Kenya is doing. Kenya is a small superpower of this region. And if we lead in mediocrity, the rest actually, most of the time, will actually follow and accept that that is an acceptable standard of practice or doing things in this region, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, as a Senate, we must lead the way in demanding better of our government, demanding better of the state agencies that handle all these border posts, not just Busia and Malaba. This is just one example of the many border posts that continue to struggle with these bottlenecks and difficulties of doing business, Mr. Speaker, in a way that once we clear it, then we expect that our minister, the president, and all these people will lead the way in demanding of the same from the rest of the EAC partner states, Mr. Speaker. But we cannot do that when we don't have a good example ourselves to show out of what is happening. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to urge that colleagues take time to speak to these issues, provide solution, and guide this House in making a resolution of this matter. With those very many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move and request the Senator for Kilifi, the Senate Minority Leader, Mr. Speaker, to second this motion. I thank you.
Senator for Kilifi County, you may proceed to second the motion.
Asante mstahiki Spika. Mstahiki Spika, kwanza nataka kuunga mkono yale yote ambayo yamesemwa hapa na kiongozi walio wengi. Jambo muhimu kuhusikana na ushirikiano huu wa mataifa yote ndani ya Afrika Mashariki ni kwamba Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi na Sudan, ambao ni Sudan ya Kusini, na pia Sudan ya North, sijui inaitwa nini, kaskazini. Spika, ni nchi ambazo zinakaribiana. Tukiangalia mataifa yote katika ulimwengu, hata ukisikia ile wanaita European Union, ni kwamba
nchi zote ambazo ziko pamoja huwa wanafanya biashara zao, uhusiano mwema na siasa zao, kila kitu wanafanya pamoja. Nimewahi kufika katika nchi za kule Europa. Bwana Spika, utaona ya kwamba nchi za kule unaweza kutoka Netherlands ukaingia Denmark, ukaingia
nchi zingine hapo katikati, na utaona ya kwamba ufasihi wao
ule ambao wanaweza kuzunguka katika zile nchi zao hauna shida kabisa. Lakini jambo la kusikitisha ni sisi hapa kama wana wa Afrika Mashariki ni kwamba nchi zetu zinakuwa na sheria tofauti tofauti ambazo zinapinga mambo ya biashara, zingine wananchi kuishi pamoja. Nakumbuka mimi mwenyewe nilikuwa mwenyekiti na hii East African Protocol, mimi nikiwa kama mwenyekiti wa hiyo kamati ambayo ilikuwa umechagua wewe mwenyewe, na wakati huo mimi nikiwa judge wa mahakama kuu ya Kenya, niliketia nikawa mwenyekiti kwa hiyo East African Protocol, na tulifanya hiyo sheria, na tuliona kwamba lazima iwe na uzoefu ama urahisi wa kuona ya kwamba watu wanaoishi katika Afrika Mashariki, Bwana Spika, wanaweza kutembea. Ukitoka hapa ukienda Uganda, ukitaka kwenda Rwanda, ukitaka kwenda Burundi, ukitaka kufanya biashara zako, ukitaka kwenda kuishi ama kuolewa ama kufanya chochote vyote, iwe rahisi. Bwana Spika, sheria kama hiyo ilisaidia sana, na mimi nataka kushukuru ya kwamba kuona hivi sasa kwamba watu wa Afrika Mashariki wanaweza kushirikiana ni jambo zuri. Na hivi sasa kumetokea sintofahamu nyingi. Unapata saa nyingine watu wetu wa Afrika Mashariki wakiweza kushirikiana,
Bwana Spika, wengine unaona wanashikwa kwa sababu sisi tumezoea katika nchi yetu ya Kenya ya kwamba tunakuwa na uhuru wa kuongea vile tunavyotaka, lakini sasa wanaharakati wetu wakifika mahali kama pengine Uganda wanashikwa, wanatiwa ndani. Hiyo si sawa sawa, na tunasema kwamba katika nchi zetu sisi tuwe watu ambao tunaweza kusikiza na kusikizana katika njia tofauti tofauti za biashara, za siasa, za maendeleo ya mbalimbali. Bwana Spika, huu ni mswada mzuri sana, na mimi nataka kuunga mkono yote ambao yameweza kuongeleshwa, na hii ni dalili nzuri ya mawasiliano. Asante Bwana Spika.
Now, honorable senators, I would wish now to propose the question, which is that aware that the existing policy frameworks, including the East African Community Customs Management Act, the ESC Common Market Protocol, the Kenya's National Trade Policy, advocate for the simplification and harmonization of customs procedures and the elimination of non-tariff barriers, noting that the Busia and Malaba border posts are critical gateways for regional trade, handling a significant portion of Kenya's commerce with Uganda and other East African Community partner states. Thus, the efficient operation of border posts is critical for national revenue collection, trade facilitation, and the economic well-being of the public and more so residents of Busia. Further, noting that various challenges continue to impede operations at these borders, particularly at Malaba border, such as severe congestion, inadequate human resource, inadequate infrastructure, including narrow roads and insufficient cargo scanners, and delays in customs processing due to duplication of rules and multiple agency checks, thus increasing the cost of doing business, leading to spoiling of perishable goods and undermining regional economic integration efforts. Concerned that there are several stalled projects, namely the underutilized Mundika and Malaba trailer parks, 200-acre undeveloped parcel of public land, and Gelechom, amongst others, thus exacerbating congestion and representing a significant waste of public resources. Further, concerned that these persistent challenges undermine the goals of the East African Community ESC Common Market Protocol by impeding the smooth flow of goods, creating an unlevel playing field for Kenyan businesses, and hindering regional economic integration, thereby resulting in loss of potential revenue, business opportunities, and economic vitality for Kenya. Cognizant that urgent and decisive intervention is required to streamline operations, modernize infrastructure, and harmonize policies to restore Kenya's competitive edge and fully realize the benefits of the East African community. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves as follows. 1. The National Treasury, the Minister of Trade, Industry, and Cooperatives, and the Minister of East African Community, the arid and semi-arid lands and regional development, in collaboration with the Kenya Revenue Authority and the Kenya National Highways Authority, to develop and present a comprehensive action plan within 90 days to address the infrastructure and operational bottlenecks at the Busia and Malaba border posts. The Kenya and Kere to fast-track the expansion of access roads, increase the number of functional cargo scanners, and establish dedicated clearance lanes for perishable goods and transit cargo to decongest the border posts. 3, the Minister of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, and the Minister of East African Community, and the arid and semi-arid lands and regional development to intensify bilateral at the ESC level engagements with the counterpart ministry to ensure full harmonization and realization of the one-stop border post concept. And 4, the Ministry of Roads and Transport and the Kenya National Highways and Authority to prioritize and fast-track the completion of the supporting road and the rail infrastructure, such as the dualling of the highway from Malaba to the interior, to ensure that gains at the border are not lost to domestic logistical bottlenecks. Now, the floor is open. You know exactly what to do to catch the Speaker's eye. Senator Ledama.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Sir.
What is
Or
out of order about
clarification,
the chair?
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you know this issue will really generate a lot of interest. And all of us would wish to speak, Mr. Speaker. So I was requesting whether you can limit the speaking time maybe to a reasonable 5 minutes, so that as many as possible senators can be able to contribute, sir.
No, honorable senators, we do not need to go through the steps of processing that motion as proposed by the Deputy Speaker. If he can strike a consensus on the number of minutes each senator would utilize once they get the floor. 5 minutes it is. Senator Ledama, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the motion addressing systemic challenges at the Busia-Malaba border post to enhance Kenyan competitiveness and regional integration. Mr. Speaker, it is important for us to demystify what these challenges are. I was listening to the majority leader when he was moving the motion, and he outlined the challenges. And I think sometimes when we simplify them is when we can actually be able to get the right solution. The challenges, Mr. Speaker, that the majority leader has outlined is, one, outdated infrastructure. You know, I heard him say that the older generation may not understand why a scanner does not work. Maybe it simply needs to be switched on and off for it to be able to work. Mr. Speaker, the majority leader also outlined the biggest challenge, which is the lack of efficiency at the border point, leading to the rotting of perishable goods that are moving between the two countries, Kenya and Uganda. Mr. Speaker, as a farmer, I understand the dangers and the challenges of these systemic problems, and we must address them. If you sit with the President of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the only talk that he will give you has got to do with the need for us to speed up the East African Community Federation, to make it easy for us to be able to trade between the two countries. I don't understand why it is taking us so long. The majority leader has adequately said that this challenge has been there from different governments. Started from the Kenyatta government, came to the Moi government, went to the Mwai Kibaki government, then to the Uhuru government. I think if there's any government that can now resolve this problem, is this government. A government that is made up of young people, people who understand the dangers of living in a country or in a region where you can simply walk from Busia in Kenya to Busia in Uganda. Just walk. But if you dare take a flight from Uganda to Nairobi, you will pay a minimum of 100,000 shillings. The same distance, which is from Nairobi to Mombasa, you would pay about 25,000 shillings. So the question that now I put out here for us to ask ourselves is, are we being fair to the business community? If your goods are rotting on the road just because of inefficiency, are we ever going to get out of this business of playing second fiddle to the developed nation? I think it's about time, ladies and gentlemen, that we really move forward, pass this motion, and ensure that those things are actually resolved. And what is it that we can actually do? The first thing, Mr. Speaker, because I see the time is running, is that all of us, between, particularly policymakers of both countries, we must all be educated on the need of enhancing trade between these two countries. The majority leader has said that he buys quite a lot from Uganda. I'm also a consumer of a lot of goods from Uganda. I buy a lot of animal feeds, and I go through the same hurdles. Sometimes my trucks are delayed at the border point for 2 days, and it affects. You don't want to live in a cow barn or to go and sit in a cow barn where the cows do not have food. You will cry yourself. So if you can cry when you see the cows are crying because they have no food, what about people who have got to work, travel, sleep on those trucks just because of inefficiency? Mr. Speaker, I really...
One minute.
Okay, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I really hope that we now move expeditiously, because Parliament pronounces itself through motions and bills. This motion must now be fully implemented. And the issue here are very clear. The systemic problems have been outlined. It doesn't matter how many times we say, outdated equipment. Can we enhance them? Can we now push to ensure that we finalize this East African Federation? That is the only way we can be able to solve it. If you compare the Gisenyi-Goma border, Rwanda and DRC, you will see that it is like night and day. I want to invite you to go to Rwanda and go across to Gisenyi border and compare it with Goma. You will see the difference between those who are determined to move into the 21st century together and those who are still sleeping in the land full of corruption and who still want to live in the older centuries. So, Mr. Speaker, this motion is very important. And now that we're here, can we come up with a way, Majority Leader, that we implement the resolution of this Senate? Thank you.
Senator Omatinga.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me an opportunity also to add my voice to this very, very important motion. As I like to support Mr. Speaker, I must say that it is time, Mr. Speaker, that we as a country leverage technology that we have to ensure that we get some of these things done. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, allow me also to say that indeed being an elderly senator and what the majority leader said that we may not be able to know what needs to be done, Mr. Speaker, I want to disabuse that statement and say we understand technology and we know what needs to be done, and that's why, because we put this country first, we woke up very early to ensure that we went to the border to make sure that, Mr. Speaker, we get this thing done, Mr. Speaker, because the younger senators, as they enjoy and sleep, we, the elderly, must make sure that this country moves in the right direction. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, it is imperative, Mr. Speaker, to note that...
Senator Fernandi, what is your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, is it in order understanding 105 for the great Senator Wamatinga to lie, yet I sat next to him? Kwani are we all? Senator Kituku was here, I was here, Senator Kituku was there. Mr. Speaker, can they just make things that are factual instead of misleading the House?
Order, honorable senators. Order, honorable senators. Senator
cannot allow.
Wamatinga, don't use age to describe who attended, who did not attend.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, well guided. I'm not sure whether Senator Chelage feels old, but having said that, Mr. Speaker, indeed, it is very important that we get this thing right. Mr. Speaker, sir, I do remember one of the issues that was raised as we visited the border point is about the social amenities, about areas where the drivers drive for long hours where they can get to relax. I do remember, Mr. Speaker, one of the motions that I moved in this House while I was still very, very new was about having these service points in our house, Mr. Speaker. I'm happy again that this has come up again, and I think it is imperative while we sit here in Busia to say that we must get it right. Mr. Speaker, the amount of revenue that we collect in these border points, when streamlined, Mr. Speaker, we can collect far much more. But, Mr. Speaker, it is also imperative that we know that we have an East African region that we want to bring into one region. Therefore, the movement of goods, Mr. Speaker, the movement of people, Mr. Speaker, and services, we can be able to align them with the modern technology so that when somebody leaves a factory, when a truck leaves a factory, Mr. Speaker, it is known the amount of good it's carrying, it is known where the destiny is, and, Mr. Speaker, we can have a border point on the go where you do not need to stop for the control, Mr. Speaker. This, Mr. Speaker, using modern technology can be done. Then, Mr. Speaker, I think it is also important that we also introduce a kind of a mechanism that will ensure that those who cheat, those transport companies who cheat, Mr. Speaker, they're earmarked, and then we can have also, as it is in Europe, random checks so that we do not have to stop all the trucks on the way. This, Mr. Speaker, will save on time. This, Mr. Speaker, will save on the efficiency and will improve the profit margins of the businesses and therefore bringing the cost of some of these things down, Mr. Speaker. This, Mr. Speaker, we do not need to rediscover the wheel. It is being done across the board in Europe. It's being done in many other regions. And, Mr. Speaker, all we need to do is to introduce a standard operating system where you know the goods are being loaded in a certain truck. We know the weight of these goods. We know the weight of the truck. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, on the go, we would have a high-speed, what you'd call a toll station, that a truck even driving at a speed of 60, 70, 80 is known. This truck is still having the same weight that it was having from the source. This, Mr. Speaker, will ensure that we do not have those drivers who may want to cheat off road and sell some of the goods or add some goods because we can have a control mechanism on that. Mr. Speaker, having said that, we also saw the scanners, and we were told that right now it is taking about 10 minutes for the people to analyze the scanned images in Nairobi. If we leverage artificial intelligence, Mr. Speaker, that can be real time. The scan is made at the same time an analysis is generated, as is being done in the medical field. This, Mr. Speaker, is not rocket science. All we need to do is to improve among the ministries, among the departments that are involved, so that, Mr. Speaker, we can integrate this into the system. And this, Mr. Speaker, will ensure that we reduce the amount of those drivers, those transporters who may want to cheat. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, it is also imperative we ask ourselves, where do we want to see ourselves as a region, Mr. Speaker? As we try to encourage this East African integration, we'll have more people travel across borders, we'll have more manufacturers and more industrialists work across the border. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, as we develop the standard operating procedures, Mr. Speaker, it is important to look at what other economic blocks are doing. And this, Mr. Speaker, must be done with one thing at the back of mind, to increase the profitability of the business, to reduce wastages, and most importantly, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that the services that are offered at the border point are available at all times. It was released, Mr. Speaker, that some of the government departments are only available from 8 to 5 and from Monday to Friday. Mr. Speaker, it is such a sad affair that a transporter will have
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. It is so unfortunate that we have to have someone to wait for 48 hours because an employee of the government is only available from 8 to 5 and from Monday to Friday. Mr. Speaker, we must ensure that all these services are available 24 hours, 7 days a week so that we do not affect the profitability of those doing business across the border. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support.
Senator Faki.
Kwa kunipa fursa hii kuchangia hoja ya kiongozi wa wengi kuhusiana na huduma katika kituo cha Busia na vituo vingine vya mipaka ya Kenya na nchi nyingine za Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki. Mheshimiwa Spika, imekuwa ni donda sugu kwamba kuna utepetevu na kucheleweshwa kwa wafanyabiashara ambao wanatumia mipaka ya Busia, Malaba, Namanga na hata vile vile Lungalunga kule pwani. Mheshimiwa Spika, japokuwa tumekuwa na East African Community, Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki kwa zaidi ya miaka 20, matunda yake Mheshimiwa Spika hayajaonekana. Tumekuwa tukitupatupa mikono kizani bila ya kujua ni kitu gani ambacho tunafanya. Mheshimiwa Spika, wale ambao wamebahatika kuzuru mpaka wa Busia hivi asubuhi, mbali na msongamano Mheshimiwa Spika, hata vyoo pale katika mpaka ule Mheshimiwa Spika hakuna vya kutosha vya kuhudumia madereva ama wale watu ambao wanapita wanatumia mpaka ule kila siku. Mheshimiwa Spika, madereva wengi huwa wamesafiri kwa mwendo mrefu na hawana huduma zozote ambazo wanapata katika barabara zetu. Tukiangalia Mheshimiwa Spika, barabara zenyewe ni nyembamba, magari mawili hayawezi kupishana bila ya moja kushuka chini, wakati hapa ndio mpakani tunaingia Kenya. Mheshimiwa Spika, inavyotakikana Mheshimiwa Spika ni kwamba barabara hapa zingekuwa ni kubwa, mahali pakubwa pa kuweza kuegesha magari watu wakisubiri huduma za mpaka, na vile vile kuwe na sehemu ambazo wananchi ama wale madereva ama wahusika wanaweza kupata mapumziko. Nilifanya mswada Mheshimiwa Spika wa kutaka kuwekwa vituo maalumu katika barabara zetu kuu ili dereva aweze kupata kupumzika, kuwe na huduma za ambulance pale, kuwe na huduma za zimamoto na huduma nyingine za kijamii katika barabara zetu kuu Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa sababu tumeona kuna sehemu kupata fire na barabara nyingi ama zimamoto na barabara nyingi Mheshimiwa Spika ziko mbali na vituo vya mji. Kwa mfano, juzi kumetokea ajali kule Kilifi, imekuwa ni shida kupata fire kutoka Malindi mjini kuja kuzima moto sehemu za Mtwapa. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, ipo haja kubwa ya kuweza kuhakikisha kwamba hizi huduma ambazo zinatolewa katika vituo vya mipaka ni huduma ambazo zinastahili kupatikana katika sehemu zile. Mipaka mingi Mheshimiwa Spika, ukienda sehemu za Ulaya utapata kwamba ni ile tunaweza kusema seamless, yani hakuna pingamizi yoyote, unaingia mpaka mmoja kwenda mpaka mwingine bila matatizo yoyote. Lakini hapa kwetu Mheshimiwa Spika imekuwa ni donda sugu. Tulianza katika jumuiya ya kwanza ambayo ilifariki mwaka 1977, tukaanza nyingine ya hayati Moi na mwenda zake Ali Hassan Mwinyi na Museveni. Rais Museveni bado yuko, lakini bado jumuiya haijaweza kufanya kazi Mheshimiwa Spika. Zaidi ya miaka 20 sasa, wakati jumuiya ya Ulaya ilikuja nyuma sana baada yetu na inafanya kazi bila matatizo yote. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, mbali na kusema hapa, ipo haja ya wale maafisa wahusika kuhakikisha kwamba hivi vituo vinafanya kazi, kwa sababu vituo vikifanya kazi mapato yataongezeka, mazao yataweza kuongezeka, kwa sababu kutakuwa na haja ya watu kukuza mazao zaidi ili waweze kuuza katika masoko ambayo yako. Lakini kwa sasa Mheshimiwa Spika, ni kunyanyasana katika sehemu nyingi za mipaka. Watu wengi wanapoteza wakati pale, wanapoteza masaa, madereva wanapata shida kwa sababu mara nyingi mizigo haifiki kwa wakati unaotakikana. Hata kama tutaweza kujenga vituo zaidi kama hicho ambacho kimekwama hapa, itakuwa haina faida, Mheshimiwa Spika, wakati huduma zenyewe si za kisasa.
Senator Abbas.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to join my colleagues also to add on this motion, which is actually the right time. Honorable Speaker, one thing I found is that actually this country, we always say that we are the economic giant of this region. But however, when you go to the borders, if you look at the flow of vehicles and carrying goods, there's a lot of trade imbalance. One thing I've realized is last time I was in Tanzania, the fleets of vehicles that are coming and waiting at the border points for clearance from Tanzania is just so huge. All carrying goods, especially cereals and all this, and the timber and all this. But when you look at the side of Kenya, the flow is very small. The number of vehicles are very few. That shows that in Kenya, we are actually disadvantaged in terms of trade in East African community. And I think, I don't know, in a country where there is food scarcity, then you cannot be able to be proud of being the economic giant of this country, of this nation, this region. The cereals and the food that comes from Tanzania and Uganda is unbelievable. One other thing, Honorable Speaker, is that even the passengers, I think I've been going around the last night, and the number of vehicles that are going to Uganda, the buses are actually very few also. So that means there are more people coming from Tanzania, from Uganda, than going to Uganda. That shows actually the Ugandans are doing more business with the Kenyans than Kenya going there and getting goods from them. Honorable Speaker, I was there this morning, and I think I attest that Mheshimiwa Cherargei was with me actually. He was there. I want to confirm to the House that he was not among the young men who slept, but he was there. One other thing, Honorable Speaker, is that the roads are just too narrow. These vehicles are huge. They carry goods, heavy goods. And you see the road from Kisumu to Busia is in a very bad condition. The night I traveled from Kisumu, I was shocked. The vehicles almost hitting one another and colliding with one another. There are so many potholes. This is actually the lifeline. Our economic lifeline is this road. Mombasa, Busia, Nairobi, Busia. This is actually the roads that are supposed to be made and repaired every one given time so that we can have more goods and the vehicles can be moving faster. Then how it is now, those roads are so poor that vehicles take too long, other than staying long along the borderlines. Even along the road, these vehicles actually take more time than expected. Honorable Speaker, I think one other thing is the welfare of the drivers and the passengers. Honorable Speaker, there are no proper ablution places, where place for resting. You know, you have to motivate our drivers who are long-distance travelers. The people who travel from Uganda, the people who travel from Kenya, at least along the road, there should be a place for ablution, a place for resting, at least a place for showering, and those places. Therefore, I think it is high time that the country must give back. Because now I'm seeing, we have been told that the target for this year's collection is 9.6 billion. So I think it's the high time that Kenya should be able to invest so that we can be able to have a comfortable traveling and has at least increased the flow of goods and people traveling. Honorable Speaker, finally, as I was walking, I was hearing the people talking that I think the senators should come back again. Because they said this is all the time we're seeing people who are serious. People are saying that Parliament is serious. So I think the Senate machinery also should be increased at least twice in a year, where so that people can appreciate more and we can be able to reach more counties in a given time. If we can go to at least 6, 7, 8 every year twice. I know it's economically not viable, but of course the Kenyans appreciate that we must visit at least wherever we can reach far ends. We can even split the house one be led by the speaker, one led by the deputy speaker, so at least we can have concurrently maybe, at least 2 sessions of visiting by having Senator Mashanani. I think, Honorable Speaker, with those few remarks, I beg to support.
Senator Fernandez.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for this opportunity. I confirm that I was among the senators who went today in the morning. Mr. Speaker, and I want to confirm some of us are young, but we wake up as early as 4 a.m. to serve this nation. And even during initiation, some of us went at 3 a.m., so sleep is not an issue because some of us are dry Kalenjin men. Mr. Speaker, let me make the following observations. One is that this border issue is a very critical issue. Mr. Speaker, I thought I should dispel the critics who wonder why senators would visit a border post. Because our work is devolution and counties. Yet most of our critics forget that under Article 96, our role is to protect devolution. And Busia as a county is a border of another international country like Uganda. So I hope, Mr. Speaker, because I've seen some people criticizing, especially our colleagues in the National Assembly, wondering what we are doing. In fact, they should have done this job before we came. So, Speaker, this Busia border is a very critical point. But it is very unfortunate that there is a lot of gridlock because of poor infrastructure, demotivated staff. Mr. Speaker, we were shocked that there is around 110 acres, colleagues, who is supposed to be handed over to Kenya Revenue Authority to develop and expand and ensure there is ample parking and processing of clearance of trucks that are either outbound out of Kenya or inbound from Uganda. Mr. Speaker, and we were told that the proposal is that you heard about Mulwanda border point, Mr. Speaker. We should operationalize, Mr. Speaker. We heard about, I think what was called Buteba border point, which is not very far, Mr. Speaker, that can be operationalized. Because we came to learn, Mr. Speaker, today in the morning, that Busia clears more people. But when you go to Malaba, it clears more trucks, Mr. Speaker. And this 110 acres, Mr. Speaker, we hope, and I hope National Land Commission is listening, because I've seen, Mr. Speaker, this is what is missing in this motion, that we should also include that the National Land Commission fast tracks the transfer of land from the Ministry of Interior to Kenya Revenue Authority and East Africa Ministry so that they can process and allow the expansion. Mr. Speaker, for some people who have traveled to the US, you see, and this is to Kenya National Highway Authority, under the law they must construct resting places. Mr. Speaker, it cannot be that when you go to the Busia border point here, that you have to pay to use a public toilet. 20 shillings for the long call, 10 shillings for the short call, Mr. Speaker, and 50 shillings to get a shower. While you go in some states in the US, they have constructed resting place with a convenience store, a sleeping area, a parking area, Mr. Speaker, and even where you can protect dignity. And it is embarrassing, Mr. Speaker, that in the other side of Uganda, the use of hygiene facilities, that is toilets, is free of charge. Mr. Speaker, there is a bigger problem that we need to be told what is really happening, Mr. Speaker. Because even when you look at infrastructure, how can that infrastructure, there are only 40 trucks that you can park there, Senator Mundi. Yet we have a number of trucks, Mr. Speaker. We were being told it takes 10 minutes to clear, but that is not the truth. We have 22 agencies, Mr. Speaker, that instead of taking 4 hours to clear here, you take more than 4 days. Because of some agencies are not operational at 24 hours, Mr. Speaker. For example, to clear an inbound of dairy products, you have to wait for approval from Kenya Dairy Board in Nairobi. They don't have people who can do approval here, Mr. Speaker. That is what is undermining efficiency, Mr. Speaker, of free trade area in East Africa, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, as a committee, we must tell these 2 agencies. And Mr. Speaker, even I'm wondering, why do we call one border post? There is nothing one. You have 22 agencies that you have to clear with. Unless the word or I'm not good in English, why would you say one border post, one clearance? It is 22 border posts, Mr. Speaker. That's the reality. Because KEFIS is here, KRA is here, Kenya Dairy Board is here, Mr. Speaker. It is very unfortunate, Mr. Speaker, that we call it border posts. It is the mockery of the English language or mockery of the people, Mr. Speaker. So this issue of clearance is very unfortunate, but I'm happy the Kenya Revenue are collecting a lot of money. For example, in financial year 2023-2024, the target was 4.8 billion, but they collected 4.1 billion. 2024-2025, they collected, the target was 5.33 billion, but they ended up collecting 6.8 billion, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, another issue is the county government. And I think we did advise them, Mr. Speaker, that they need to improve. Because just
30 seconds.
so the counties, the county government of Busia misled us yesterday. Yet they are charging 2,500 for the trailer, 1,000 for the canter, and 1,500, 2,000 for dairy products. Mr. Speaker, if we have to be efficient, let us have a multi-agency to ensure that we have proper efficiency of trade. And I hope after this resolution we will make out the trading partners within East Africa will be for the better of all of us. With those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to support this motion.
The Deputy Speaker.
Senator Wambua, you should also recognize that there is some protocol that shouldn't be observed at some point. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this chance also to contribute to this very, very important motion, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we are here in Busia because the work of the Senate as per Article 96 is to protect the counties and the governments and the governments that we have in the counties. Mr. Speaker, when we met the governor of Busia County the first day on Monday, he has a lot of challenges, especially on health care, because whatever budget they propose in his budget, 30% of his budget is consumed by maybe the other side. I don't want to mention the name of the country, but our neighbors from the other side. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, one of the reasons why they have that, they're overstretching their budget on health is because of also the congestion that is here, Mr. Speaker. Because when there is congestion, there is a high population, there are breakouts of diseases and so many other challenges. So, Mr. Speaker, we are living now in the year 2025, almost 63 years after independence. And Mr. Speaker, we have not been able to clear or to finish up some of the challenges that we have encountered since independence. Mr. Speaker, we don't need to believe at the point that or maybe try to blame the previous governments. Mr. Speaker, the government of Jomo Kenyatta, Moi, Kibaki, Uhuru, we should tackle the challenges that we have now. We have been elected by the people from 2022. We will be in office up to 2027. It should not take us beyond 2027, Senator Wambua and my colleagues, before we finish up these challenges that we met here. Then what will be the need for us to be in the office for 5 years? I was asking my colleague, Senator Kisang, because he has been the Haiti ward for 4 years. And he pronounced that during the last impeachment. So I was asking him for that, with that 4 years experience, why don't you propose or come up with a system that can be able to be used the way Senator Matinka was proposing, so that we don't need to queue. There is a system, IT solutions in everything, Mr. Speaker. But he challenged me and told me, you know, systems don't like straight things. So I don't understand what is that system that does not allow efficiency. So, Mr. Speaker, I think this time round, let us collapse that thing called the system so that we can do the right thing. If you have that proposal, Mr. Honorable Senator Kisang, why don't you bring it in this floor of the Senate? Come with it, let us discuss, and then we make the government to act. We are a House of Parliament, mandated by Kenyans to make laws to facilitate efficiency, even in government, to tame corruption and all these things, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is unfortunate that, you know, the East African Customs Protocol was signed many years ago. And up to date, some of the member states don't want this thing to be implemented. You have our brothers in Tanzania, let me mention that side. Because, Mr. Speaker, you can never practice in Tanzania. But Kenya has around experts. Whatever profession you have, you can come from Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, now Somalia also, Sudan, South Sudan, and practice in Kenya. Even presenting a citizen of Uganda. The other day is a problem with our sister lawyer, Mother Karua Senior. Because, Mr. Speaker, whatever we agree, countries don't want to implement those issues. Mr. Speaker, let this be, maybe, since we're in Busia, let us sort out this problem in Maraba and Busia Mbonda. And, Mr. Speaker, these challenges are very minor. One is about the road, which even yesterday we agreed this road should be fixed so that, Mr. Speaker, the efficiency can be observed. If it is the scanners, the lack of staff, enough staff, we have so many Kenyans who are languishing, even in these streets of Busia, who can even support to work at these border posts, Mr. Speaker, and also expand the Maraba border works at 4.2 hectares of land. There is no space even for these trucks, Mr. Speaker. So I think let this motion come up with a good resolution. We agree as the Senate and make sure that everything in these border posts lands smoothly, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Oburu Odinga.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, this is an area where I'm very sure you are very much aware. This is an area where you have been in charge, and I know you know what the integration of this area means. Mr. Speaker, the people of this area are the same people. We are the same people. These borders were created artificially by the colonial authorities. Mr. Speaker, if you go, you take the Samia people. The Samia people spread into Uganda, and they have members of parliament in Uganda who are Samias. At one time, Mr. Speaker, if some of you might not be aware, in Kenya we had Mudi Awori as the Vice President of Kenya, and his brother Agre was contesting for presidency in Uganda. So, Mr. Speaker, we also have the Teso people. They spread into Uganda. The Luo people go up to Lolwe Islands there. So the Manyala people, the same. Mr. Speaker, the Kuria, you go to Masai, and you go down the Digos. They all spread into Tanzania. And Mr. Speaker, this area was supposed to be one country. But because of, during colonial times, Mr. Speaker, I was there. There used to be no border here in Busia. We used to move. Siaya is not far from here. In fact, I'm a neighbor. I'm more of a neighbor than Halwali. And we used to move into Uganda. There was only a roadblock showing you that you are getting into Uganda. And the currency was one during colonial times. Why are we not doing better than the colonialists? Why was Uganda and Kenya more or less one? Because we were using the same currency. There was only a border to show you that you are now crossing into Uganda. Otherwise, these are the same countries, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, sir, the East African community is based on 4 pillars. These 4 pillars, one is the customs union, which I think, Mr. Speaker, is largely implemented. The second pillar is the common market. And this common market envisages free movement of goods, free movement of people, free movement of services, and free movement of capital. And Mr. Speaker, this is where we are doing very poorly. Because on the free movement of people, you had Honorable Adama telling you how expensive it is to fly to Kampala here. Mr. Speaker, even here, movement, though moving on foot here is not a big problem, because now, Mr. Speaker, I think we can give credit that people can move with their IDs and they can go into Uganda. Mr. Speaker, on the free movement of goods, there is what we call the non-tariff barriers. These non-tariff barriers, they have been talked about for a long time. I think when you were there, Mr. Speaker, you remember the whole list of non-tariff barriers. They have been reducing them, but why are they not being eliminated completely? Because these are just artificial measures taken by governments to prevent free movement of goods and free movement of people sometimes, but mainly free movement of goods. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to the free movement of people, you also have problems with the rights to establishment, because some governments they have signed the protocols. They signed the protocols, but their implementation with these protocols, Mr. Speaker, the big problem is implementation. Implementation is left to the member states, and they don't want to implement them. They signed them, but they don't want to implement them. For instance, right to establishment. The Tanzanian government, I think, sometimes fears that Kenyans are very greedy. They might nyakua all their land there. But, Mr. Speaker, that is not true. Kenya allows people free movement of people. They come and work in Kenya freely. And this should be practiced by all the members because the protocols have been signed by all of them. And it is a problem of implementation. Mr. Speaker, we also have a problem in Lake Victoria. This lake is supposed to be...
1 minute to conclude your thoughts, Honorable Senator.
Mr. Speaker, the lake is supposed to be a common user facility. Uganda practices common user practice with the Congo. They manage the lake jointly. Why can't the East Africans also manage this lake jointly so that fishermen are not harassed and arrested? Some of them are even made to eat raw fish in the lake, Mr. Speaker. Sometimes the fines are too heavy for them and they are jailed there. We have to go and look for them every now and then. Negotiations have to be done. Mr. Speaker, there should be a common user policy for the Lake Victoria so that all the fishermen from all the countries can enjoy this facility and benefit from it, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Tabitha.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Allow me to just pick it up from where our youth leader just had mentioned something. That is when you were once the minister for ESC between 2008 and 2010. And one of the key achievements, Mr. Speaker, that you delivered for this country was ensuring what we call the common market protocol. Free movement of people, free movement of services, free movement of our products, and also the free movement of the labor. We applaud you for that. Mr. Speaker, yesterday I had the privilege to join my colleagues in the Trade and Industrialization Committee, where we also visited the Malabar border. We had intensive discussions with the management and the different stakeholders that cut across. The meeting was led by the KRA manager. Mr. Speaker, one of my key observations as someone who's versed in matters finance was the revenue collection. As early as last year's revenue collection, it amounted to over 8 billion, Mr. Speaker. As we speak currently, their financial target is 12 billion, Mr. Speaker. Then you ask yourself and wonder, where does this money go? even if it goes to the Ministry of Finance in the consolidated fund, Mr. Speaker, the border deserves to get the development, Mr. Speaker. The management at the Malaba border, Mr. Speaker, is not able to address the financial issues that need to be addressed, because all the funds that they collect can only be decided by the Minister of Finance, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there is a road at Malaba border, a 700-meter road, Mr. Speaker, that needs to be finished when it comes to matters tarmacking. How much would that cost? The much it can cost is about 200 million, Mr. Speaker. And if that road is finished today, Mr. Speaker, it will enhance and broaden movement in and out. Today, as we speak, it's only one road, incoming and outgoing, Mr. Speaker. How do we increase the market share? Why will not business people continue using the Arusha border, Mr. Speaker, if we are not factoring the issues that are in our borders? We were also privileged, Mr. Speaker, to meet the chairman of the clearing board agencies, the chairman of the truck drivers, the chairman of the truck owners. And Mr. Speaker, the issues that currently they're addressing, they are coming from our brother side, the other region. The Kenyan side, the issues that are there, they cannot be compared with the issues that are in Uganda side. Then you ask yourself, what's the challenge? It is people who have been given mandate, the police who are on the other side, the managers who are on the other side, who decide when to work and when not to work. Who decide when they want to clear a truck or not. Issues like they close books, they close shelves, they close the systems, and sit back and watch. Before any truck is cleared, money has to exchange hands, Mr. Speaker. That is what the representatives communicated, Mr. Speaker. So there needs to be also a joint committee within both sides that can be able to address these issues. Because on the Kenyan side, there are no those challenges. The systems have been put in place, as much as there are few challenges whereby some of these clearances have to be decided in Nairobi. Some of the decisions have to be decided, again, back in Nairobi, Mr. Speaker, which brings the challenge because there is delay. When stakeholders, especially the veterinary department, where they work up to Friday, so you wonder a truck that has arrived on Friday, what happens on Saturday, what happens on Sunday? And you know very well that is a 24-hour border. That a document cannot be signed because these people do not work past 4 p.m., Mr. Speaker. What happens to those business people? Definitely they will use other routes. And how are we even going to stop the counterfeit and the smuggling if those departments and those stakeholders cannot up their game, cannot be able to extend those working hours or be able to address the labor challenges or the HR issues that they are currently having, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, it is the high time that also we as a house, I don't know.
Conclude your thoughts.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is a high time that also the minister, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, comes and brings these regional discussions so that these issues can be addressed and addressed conclusively and in a futuristic manner, Mr. Speaker. Otherwise, we are losing business in this country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Andrew Omtata.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for the opportunity to address this august House. The motion I support, it's very important. I will also bring the attention of the House that the county government of Busia makes absolutely no revenue from all the challenges it faces hosting the international border point. There used to be a trailer parking here where the county council, before the county assembly came in, used to make some money, whereby the trucks would be taken off the road and put into the parking yard, and they would pay some parking fees. Now, that was taken away when they were doing the one border stop post by the Kenya National Highways Authority, with an undertaking that they would put up another border post, another parking yard. As we were told, there is 60 acres. There's about 70 acres available around the border that belongs to the Ministry of Interior, commonly known as no man's land. A temporary park could be put there to sanitize the congestion, get the danger. Another thing is that these people, the trailers sometimes carry hazardous materials. We remember sometime, was it around Naivasha, when we had that accident whereby one of the trucks exploded and incinerated many other trucks. When these trucks are congested here, there are sitting bombs that can go off in any way. And I want to underscore the point that our brother was making yesterday, the Honorable Wambua. He made a very important point that when the trucks are on the highway, they cannot be charged for any parking fees. Although they are parking, that they're creating congestion, they must be taken off the highway and put somewhere where they can then be attended to, services provided, and then they can also pay some parking fees. My sister's Honorable Mtinda has mentioned the non-tariff barriers on the Ugandan side. These non-tariff barriers on the Ugandan side required intervention that may be even at the level of the heads of state to address. And so as we talk about the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we must not forget that the top diplomat of this country is the president. And maybe his attention could be drawn to the non-tariff barriers on the Ugandan side so that he could discuss it with his counterpart on the other side to see what kind of interventions can be done, and even just remove the point at which they begin inspecting that trucks on the other side so that there's no congestion created. We must be aware to the competition from Tanzania, whereby the inefficiencies on this corridor, for some of us who have been in Arusha, have been told that the inefficiencies in this corridor are contributing to the movement of cargo away from the Mombasa port to the Dar es Salaam port. Countries like Burundi are some of them importing mainly through Dar es Salaam, despite the longer route, but because of the less congestion, the more acceptable terrain, they're taking business away from us. So we must be aware to that, and that's why I'm happy that this motion is mentioning the Ngelechom land. The Ngelechom land, which I hope we'll be able to have time for a committee of the Senate to visit, is just out here between Busia and Malaba. 200 acres of public land. You don't need to acquire that land. It's government land. And a trailer city, not just a trailer park, a trailer city can be erected there that will be also contribute as an industrial base to this county. Mr. Speaker, sir, we don't have an industrial base for this country. The only industry that you can see people engaging in is border, which has its own challenges, which has its very low income. So it's important that the Ngelechom land be considered seriously as a possible area of putting up a modern trailer park that can suck up all these issues. We heard about the Muluanda border crossing, which is also idle, not being utilized. So if we invest in infrastructure, we should be able to get matters moving faster. The question of our neighboring country using a hospital is also true, but remember, those people don't come with SHA and SHIF. Those people pay cash. Where does that cash go to? Those clients come and they pay cash. They don't use SHA and SHIF. Where does that money go to? So as we talk of saying that there's money, that there's a shortage of funds in the hospital, let us ask and find out where the money goes to, what are the allocations. Let them give us a detailed account of how this money is used. In fact, our neighbors are contributing a lot of money in our health facilities, but that money is never accounted for. It goes into somebody's pocket. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, it's...
Because you are host, let me give you 1 more minute to clear.
So, Mr. Speaker, sir, it's with a very, very happy heart that I contribute to this motion, and I'm happy that the Senate has seen for itself the challenges we face here, most of which are self-inflicted. Even today, as I was walking in the town, they said the Senate should not leave Busia because for the first time, the streets have been swept, the waterways have been unclogged, and some people are saying the Senate should move from Nairobi to Busia. That's maybe when the county government is going to work. That's how bad things have been in this county, and I hope that the committees will follow up with the various issues and ensure that the county government works for the people of Busia and works for the people of Kenya, and that the border points are decongested, but decongested in a manner that business remains in Kenya, not decongested in a manner that there's no business in Kenya. We don't want to see a situation whereby a trailer crosses from Nairobi.
Thank you, Senator Mtata. Senator Kisang.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also want to join my colleagues to support this motion. And from the onset, Honorable Speaker, it is important for people to know that systems work. You know, ICT systems work across the world, and they're all the same. The only difference, Chair, is the mindset of the leaders. And this is where we have a problem in Africa, because when we try to automate, there are many people who resist. In fact, I'm surprised that Senator Mtata is saying some hospitals within the county, they are still receiving cash. And we don't know where the cash is going, because we don't expect hospitals to still be receiving cash currently, because they're supposed either to pay through the citizens of Busia to be paying either through e-citizen, pay bills, or pay directly to the banks, Honorable Speaker. And that's why I was saying, Speaker, that there are systems in place that can be used to ensure the drugs, when they leave Mombasa, they go free all the way up to the destinations after paying their taxes. But because of corruption, because people want to reap where they did not sow, Honorable Speaker, they don't want systems to work. That is one of the issues. That is why recently, when you saw the Kenya Kwanza government introducing e-government procurement, there has been a lot of resistance everywhere, especially even by the county governments, because what they don't want is automated systems. They want interaction between human beings so that they can exchange, things can exchange hands, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this morning, we were at the border post very early in the morning. By 8 o'clock, we were there, Honorable Speaker. We were taken through, and we saw the challenges that are there, Honorable Speaker. One of the biggest challenges, if you look at this particular border on the Kenyan side, Honorable Speaker, basically, it's like, it doesn't look like it is, in fact, the Namanga is better, Honorable Segi. It is very clean, organized, but this particular place, it is in a mess, Honorable Speaker. And this is one of the things that we want to resolve, that the county government of Busia and also national government, because we have 70 acres for Minister of Interior, we have 40 acres for Minister of East African Community, where the officer in charge of the East African Community in this particular county, Honorable Speaker, this border post, they've said they already have donors who are willing to put up serious markets. They're willing to put up infrastructure so that the women from both Uganda and the Kenyan side can trade freely and have very good and ample space, Honorable Speaker, even where they can breastfeed, because the lady in charge of the women, the small women businesses under $2,000 within Busia, Honorable Speaker, said there are some young mothers who have children, but they don't have anywhere to breastfeed. They don't have anywhere to even change the children, Honorable Speaker. Same business, I think same issue also in Malaba. I'm sure this is what you witnessed yesterday. And the resources are there to assist. Honorable Speaker, Kenya Revenue Authority, they have one scanner here. And they have told us it's a second scanner that is going, there's one scanner now in Malaba, one scanner is on the way, Honorable Speaker, but the problem is there is a delay. When a truck is scanned, the report is taken to Nairobi Central Control Room, and they take about 10 minutes or more to verify and send to clear this particular truck, Honorable Speaker. This is where there is a lag. in this day and age of artificial intelligence, we want to ask KRA to use AI so that that time can be reduced from 10 minutes to less than 30 seconds, Honorable Speaker, so that we can fast track the flow of trucks at the border, Honorable Speaker. And we want to ask our colleagues on the other side. That's why we are saying the President is our chief ambassador within the region. So we want him also to talk to the other his colleagues, so that even as Kenya automates, Tanzania also they need to do something, so that we don't get backlog on the other side and our business community are frustrated. Honorable Speaker, there is a lot of revenue that is being lost here. We were told 2023-24, the target was 4.8, but they collected 6.1. This financial year, the target is 9.1. I believe they can go beyond 15 billion, both for Busia and Malaba. So basically, there is enough money that can be collected, but what we need to do is basically for our people to embrace.
Honorable Senators, from now henceforth there will be no additional even of 1 second, because many senators still want to say something. What in Busia? Senator Enoch Wambua.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. I don't know which principle this one is. But I'm happy to be back in Busia, Mr. Speaker. For the benefit of the people of Busia, this to me is more of a homecoming than just a visit by the Senate. I once taught in a school near this place called Mondika Boys when Senator Medu was still, I think, in baby class. Mr. Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to make a contribution to this motion. But begin by thanking the Speaker of the Senate, the Right Honorable Amason Jeffa Kingi, for the contribution that he made when he was a minister for the East African Community, working under the pupillage of perhaps one of the best presidents that this country has ever had, His Excellency the late Stanley Emilio Mwai Kibaki, and under the guidance of the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, then the Prime Minister, and of course, the very able Vice President then, His Excellency Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, when they crafted the East African Common Market Protocol. And you know, Mr. Speaker, what colleagues don't know is that the chairman of that commission that crafted that protocol was none other than Justice Stewart Mazayo. He is the man who is going to be credited for the establishment of the protocol and pushing it through Parliament. Now it's an act of Parliament. So the protocols are there, Mr. Speaker. What is needed, the heavy lifting has been done. What is remaining is just implementation of the protocol. Mr. Speaker, I want to remind ourselves of important facts about us, the senators. Mr. Speaker, Article 93 of the Constitution establishes the Parliament of the Republic of Kenya and defines it as constituting the National Assembly and the Senate. Article 96 goes further to assign specific roles to the Senate. And it is not by coincidence, Speaker, that the first assignment that the Constitution gives to this Senate is the protection of counties and their governments. The Speaker, Article 209 of the Constitution, 3. It assigns Parliament, where Senate is involved, the responsibility of giving powers and responsibilities to county governments to be able to impose taxes through an act of Parliament. The Speaker, when we sit here and talk about efficiency at the one-stop border post, it is okay because we are Parliament. But the Speaker, our first responsibility is to protect counties and their governments. It pains me, Mr. Speaker, that we are at a border county today where even this morning as we drove to this August House, there was traffic caused by trucks literally parked on the roadside. Mr. Speaker, I want to advance my argument yesterday that those trucks that are lining up outside this building, they are not just trucks. These are opportunities for this county government to make some revenue, to generate some revenue. But they cannot generate revenue because those trucks are in a traffic jam. They are not parked. Mr. Speaker, it compromises the movement of the people of Busia because they have taken one lane, but they are not paying nothing to the county government of Busia. The Speaker, we must empower this county government and other counties at border posts to be able to generate revenue from these trucks. And the argument that we are making business too expensive, the Speaker, doesn't fly. Let county governments create parking lots. Let these trucks be taken off the roads to the parking lots. Let county governments generate revenue day and night, Mr. Speaker, so they don't always rely on the exchequer for the services that they render. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, when these trucks are parked here, they are consuming services that belong to the people of Busia. They are generating waste. It is the responsibility of this government to make sure that the
Senator Anderson Mugatan.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to contribute to this motion. From the very onset, Mr. Speaker, I really want to support this motion. And Mr. Speaker, I have had the fortune in my life to serve as chair of the Kenya Ports Authority. And Mr. Speaker, at the port, there's a lot of movement of goods inside. And Mr. Speaker, movement of goods outside. Congestion and all these problems that are similar to what we are seeing here in Busia and at Malaba borders, very similar, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, today I rise to say only one thing, that the government of Kenya and the government of Uganda, Mr. Speaker, must heavily invest in ICT, Mr. Speaker. Technology is the answer. There's nothing else we are going to do that will help better than technology. Mr. Speaker, we are living in a different era. Now, the issue of technology takes precedence over everything else. If we are going to make these border issues work, it is technology, Mr. Speaker. Technology is what has moved the Kenya Ports Authority to be a highly profitable parastatal. It's technology, Mr. Speaker. Technology may be expensive now when you are investing in it, but it is the way to go. It is the answer to all these problems, Mr. Speaker. I have in mind, Mr. Speaker, the FS 6000 scanners. These are non-intrusive scanners. Mr. Speaker, you would have a vehicle moving at a speed of 15 kilometers per hour. You don't need to look at the luggage. You don't need to offload. It moves. So all these trucks will not be staying on the road. They will be moving at least at 15 kilometers per hour. And it is a non-intrusive type of scanner. Mr. Speaker, the drivers and the people who are involved in this trade, we can have artificial intelligence, Mr. Speaker, on all of them, so that as they are coming, there are smart gates at the border, the gates, so that their facial recognition and biometrics, Mr. Speaker, are used automatically. Goods. And these are systems which are available when the goods are being loaded in Mombasa, so that through technology in satellite, you're able to track those goods, and those seals are not broken until there are smart gates, Mr. Speaker. There are FS 6000 scanners passing. So who's going to complain about anything, Mr. Speaker? From the point where the goods are loaded to the point of destination, everything. And Mr. Speaker, if we can invest, we used to use passports that are checked and what and what. Nowadays, Mr. Speaker, if you go to any serious airport, you don't need to produce
the notice of the motion that pursuant to standing order 190 sabbatical 5, this House adopts the report of the Water and Irrigation Committee on the performance of the Department of Water and Irrigation for the year 2023-2024, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 8th October 2025, sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
We have several statements, responses rather, to statements. The first one is by, it was sought by Honorable Paul Wambua on status of 10 ECD classes, centers. And Honorable Anastasia Mutevu is the one to respond. I invite Honorable Anastasia to come forward, make that presentation.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm Anastasia Mutevu. I'm nominated to this House by Wiper Patriotic Front and the Chair of Education Committee. Honorable Speaker, on Tuesday, 5th August 2025, during morning plenary sitting, Honorable Paul Wambua sought a statement on the status of 10 ECD centers in his ward.
Honorable Speaker, in response to the above statement, the committee requested information from the Chief Officer Education and ECD Services, and the department responded via letter dated 13th August 2025 as follows. 1. The current status of infrastructure in the 10 mentioned ECD centers in Kibaoni Ward is captured in the attached statement, and the measures of the county government is taking to the measures the county government is taking to renovate them. Response A, the said classes, which include Dwango, Kitetini, Ikuni, Kilala, Mutula, Mudei, Kenze, Kikumini, Kivalani, and Kadhiani, are not in good condition and hence need renovation.
Their status vary, with some affected by the aging infrastructure. A comprehensive report for the ECD center will be available after engineer's assessment. B, the department will consider renovating the said classes when the budget is available. 2, when the county government plans to commence the construction of Chandwe ECD Center. The response is 1, the construction of Chandwe ECD Center will be done when the budget is available. Number 3, the steps the department is taking to ensure employment of ECD teachers within their financial year 2025-2026 in accordance with the staffing needs of Kibaoni Ward and the county at large. And the response is the department is in the process of implementing the schemes of service in phases. However, the department is aware of the dire need of the ECD teachers in Kibaoni and the whole county. The plan is, once we get enough budget, we shall consider to employ new teachers, and but not only in Kibaoni, but for the whole county. We have a rest. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Member. I know I'll be calling you shortly, but at this point, I wish to request Honorable Paul Wambua to state whether the response is satisfactory or not.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Chair Education. However, from the onset, I want to say that
Point of order granted.
Madam, I don't know, I must be guided, but the member, the way he has put the tie on his neck, it is unparliamentary. Please, he must dress up and then he can answer.
Madam Speaker, my tie is on. I don't know whether there is a standing order which specifies how someone should put on the tie. It only says that you need to have a tie on. And therefore, I deem myself to be properly dressed.
You are properly dressed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The standing order says you have to have a tie. They have not said how or which, where. But it has to be on the neck. And it is on the neck.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for supporting me. Madam Speaker, I was saying from the onset, I want to say that as a member of Kibaoni Ward, I am not satisfied with the report that has just been read. I am not satisfied, Madam Speaker, because it's now 3 years into this government, and Kibaoni has not received any form of development. I know the next statement is about VTCs, and Kibaoni has not received either a single classroom in the third year of this administration. It has not received a centimeter or even a sewing machine for its VTC, which is only one. Madam Speaker, today I'm not partially. Today I'm completely not satisfied, Madam Speaker. In the presence of the director for ECD, when bursary checks were being issued, Madam Speaker, the people of Kibaoni made it clear that it's cheaper for them to have ECD teachers employed rather than having a budget directed to milk and beans and rice. Because, Madam Speaker, they incur costs to go and get these beans and rice wherever they are dropped. But the cost is higher, is lower than what they use to employ teachers, Madam Speaker. And it's not only Kibaoni. The other day, when the Finance Committee visited Cheleni, Cheleni has got only one ECD teacher, who is the coordinator for ECDs. It's injustice, Madam Speaker, to the children of this county, and we know that education begins from those early stages, and if we don't get it right at those early stages, then we'll be growing people who don't know what they are doing in the education sector, Madam Speaker. I don't know where we are headed, but for me, and I like to speak my mind, I would rather have classes built, I would rather have teachers employed, I would rather have a running VTC, which gives the youth of this county, the youth of Kibaoni, a chance to acquire lifelong skills, rather than investing in what we call MYS, which gives them short skills that cannot help them in their lifetime. I have examples of people who went for MYS last season, Madam Speaker, from Kibaoni, and they are still home. They are doing nothing. That was just a breeding zone, Madam Speaker, for our youth to mingle and know each other. I would rather that money be directed towards the
point of order, Madam Speaker.
The development of...
point of order, Madam Speaker.
On which standing order, Madam Speaker?
Finish.
Yeah, Madam Speaker, I think it's good for the member to stick to the main agenda. He has left everything now. He's talking about MYS, which I don't think was done in the statement. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, I'm talking about MIS because it's part of that departmental budget. And if Kibaoni has to get real development from that...
Point of information, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker, can I be let to finish? I don't want information. She has already informed me.
I've just said, allow the member to finish.
Yeah, so Madam Speaker, we may defend the government as much as we want. But let me tell you, gentlemen and ladies, we are in this together. The other day, the majority whip was told to sit down in his own constituency. Madam Speaker, let's not sugarcoat. Let's tell this government the truth. If we want any meaningful development, if we want to be seen in good eyes, in good standing by the communities, Madam Speaker, let's not sugarcoat. Let's say things as they are. Madam Speaker, for me, it's unfortunate that for the last 3 years, I've not seen any development in Kibaoni Ward from the Department of Education, Madam Speaker. And it's very unfair for the people of Kibaoni. It's very unfair. I know other regions, but I speak for Kibaoni. It's very unfair for the people of Kibaoni, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Honorable Member for Kibaoni, Paul Wambua, is not satisfied with the response on that statement, and therefore the statement is referred back to Education Committee to inquire and report to the House on or before 5th of November 2025. Thank you. I call upon Honorable Anastasia Motevu once again to come forward and respond to another statement sought by Honorable Paul Wambua from Kibaoni Ward.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. But just before I read the response for the VTCs, allow me to inform Honorable Don that the schemes of service for the ECD teachers, it has already landed in our committee, that we are scrutinizing it, and we are sure soon the ECD teachers will have a smile in this county. Madam Speaker, on Tuesday, 5th August, on 5th August 2025, during morning plenary sitting, Honorable Paul Wambua, MCA for Kibaoni Ward, sought a statement on the status of Muka and Kivalini Vocational Training Centers, VTCs. Honorable Speaker, in response to the statement, the committee requested information from the Chief Officer Education and ECD Services, and the department responded via a letter dated that 20th August 2025 as follows. The status of 2 vocational centers, namely Kivalani and Muka in Kibaoni Ward. The Department of Vocational Skills Training notes that the official name of Muka VTC is St. Joseph Kibaoni VTC, but not Muka VTC, as per the registration status with the TVETA. Kitulani Polytechnic, referred to Kivalini VTC, is not within the jurisdiction of Machakos County, nor is it in the list of VTCs devolved from the national government. Number 2, the specific intervention that the county government is undertaking to improve the infrastructure at Muka VTC, particularly the construction of classrooms, administration offices, and a dormitory block, as well as fencing of the institution. Response: the official name of Muka VTC is Kibaoni Ward. VTC in Kibaoni Ward is St. Joseph Kibaoni VTC. As per registration with TVETA, the county government acknowledges the infrastructure gaps highlighted. However, the department acknowledges the above project did not appear in the list of priority projects presented during the public participation at the ward level and also not presented during the project realignment exercise. Thus has not been captured in this financial year. Number 3, the steps that have been taken to ensure the supply of adequate learning equipment and materials to facilitate effective training. Response, the Department of Vocational Skills has budgeted for capitation for all vocational training centers, which should be distributed per the number of trainees. The capitation monies are meant to cushion the cost of training materials and equipment. Number 4, the plans that are in place to ensure the facility is well staffed with qualified instructors and support personnel. The response is currently the county government has deployed one instructor at the institution, that is St. Joseph Kibaoni VTC. However, department intends to deploy more instructors, of which 2 will be deployed to the institution. Number 5, what the county government is doing to ensure the completion and operationalization of the Kivalini VTC, including timelines of resumption of construction and full commissioning. And the response is Katulani Polytechnic is currently under the jurisdiction of Machakos County Government and is not in the official list of VTCs devolved from the national government. The county government will access the institution to ascertain whether it meets TVETA and NITA registration and accreditation standards. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. I invite Honorable Paul Wambua to state whether the response is satisfactory.
Thank you once more, Madam Speaker. I will start by getting surprised at the Chair Education, who says that after 3 years and into the second quarter of the third year, that we are still working on schemes of service. I'm not sure you are aware that the teachers that were employed by the county government were employed in either 2013 or 2014 and have not received a single increment in their salaries ever since. That, Madam Speaker, is suicidal. I'll still repeat what I've said, that the injustices being meted on the people of Kibaoni by this department are out of proportion, Madam Speaker. Same as ECDE, Kibaoni has only one running VTC. But that one VTC, I remember in 2022 when Chief Officer Mwako was in education, he sent officers to the ground. I talked to him, he sent officers to the ground, and they say they were doing something. Now, in 2025, they are saying they are still setting a budget for the institution. Madam Speaker, we can say as much as we want. We can blame our youth for getting into drugs and other meaningless things. But what are we doing to make our youth useful in this community? What are we doing to develop the careers of our youth? And especially here, I'm talking about Kibaoni. Our VTC is only one, like a child's tooth. But that one has only one teacher, one instructor, who is currently on maternity leave. And we are here being told the capitation is coming. The VTC has three students. And these 3, we got them from the community to bring them. Some are sponsored by ourselves to study in that institution. But now, how will they study when there is only one instructor, Madam Speaker? What capitation will they get if there are only 3? Assuming the county gives 1,000, that is 3,000. How will it help the institution? Madam Speaker, I think what happens in the education department borders on total incompetence and negligence of the youth of this county, Madam Speaker. There is Kivalani VTC, which, as per the department, does not lie within their jurisdiction, Madam Speaker. This is a project that was started way before devolution. And the project was started by the then MP, Honorable Daniel Mwoki. But after devolution, the institution, therefore, should have reverted to the county government, because VTC education is a duty, is something that should need to be done by the county government. Therefore, saying that it's not within our jurisdiction, it was not registered, it's not complete. The people of Kibaoni want it complete and running. If it's to register it, it should be registered by the county government of Machakos. So let's not say that it's not within our jurisdiction, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I will repeat what I've said, that the people of Kibaoni will demand that instead of taking 500 youth to train as, I don't know, paramilitary or what, let that budget be used to develop this VTC so that the people, those children, can learn within Kibaoni ward and get meaningful skills, Madam Speaker. We are in our second last budget, and it's actually the last budget, because next year everything switches to campaign mode. And I'll still repeat to this House that today Wambua is talking about the education of Kibaoni. And there are people who will also want to come to campaign in Kibaoni. Those are the hard questions that will be asked. And I'm just preparing, including myself, though we were advised to do our work in the assembly because our work is oversight, and I think I'm doing it 100%. Those hard questions will be asked. And I want us to cushion every elected member, myself, all the way to the governor, from these hard questions of we have not done, we have not done. We have not done and we have not done. I would rather do proper surgery on my skin rather than do plastic surgery. And proper surgery here is having those VTCs, those ECDs running with teachers employed, rather than plastic surgery, which is MIS. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Are you satisfied? No, satisfied.
Of course not, Madam Speaker. After 3 budgets and Kibaoni has not gotten a shilling in development, how can I be satisfied, Madam Speaker? I actually, my head, I'm getting a headache from that. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
I'm sorry about that, Honorable Member. Okay. Before I deal with this statement that has just been responded to, Honorable Anastasia, I want to advise you the issue you have introduced for schemes of service, the information that you mentioned while you are dealing with VCT response, kindly include it in the report that you are supposed to present to this assembly on or before 5th of October. Because when you just state it off the cuff, it doesn't find itself in the records. So put it in the records, present it that time when you're bringing that report that I have sent the statement back to you, please. Back now to this present response. The member for Kibaoni is not satisfied with this response. I have listened to his concerns, and I want to request the Committee of Education, under the leadership of Honorable Anastasia Mutevu, to give this matter special attention, make thorough inquiry into all those concerns that he has raised, and bring to this House a report on or before 5th November 2025. And it has to be thorough inquiry so that we understand where is the problem. How come for 3 years nothing is happening in that particular ward? Thank you, members. Next order.
Order number 8, motion, approval of report of climate change departmental performance for the financial year 2023-2024.
May I invite Honorable Frederick Kitetu, Chairperson, Environment and Natural Resources, to come forward and present that motion. Honorable Kitetu, please.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Frederick Kitetu is my name, MCA Kombe Ward, and also the Chairperson, Environment and Natural Resource Committee. Approval of report on climate change, departmental performance for the year 2023-2024. Honorable Speaker, I wish to move the motion that pursuant to Standing Order 195, this House adopts the report of the Environment and Natural Resource Committee on the performance of the Department of Climate Change for the year 2023-2024, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 7 October 2025. Let me call upon Honorable Catherine Chair, who is also my Vice Chair, to second my motion.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Catherine Chair. Thank you, Honorable Member. I now propose the question that pursuant to Standing Order 190, Suborder 5, this House adopts the report of the Environment and Natural Resources Committee on the performance of the Department of Climate Change for the financial year 2023-2024, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 7th of October 2025. Before I invite members to debate this motion, I would like to request the mover to highlight on the report, then we can move and debate it. Honorable Kitetu, please take us through the Honorable Chair, you are the one to take us through the highlights. You are highly welcome.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Catherine Che from OIPA Patriotic Front, and I'm the Vice Chair of this committee, and I'm holding a brief for my Chair, Honorable Kitetu. Madam Speaker, I start with the... Okay, thank you. Madam Speaker, I would like to lead the report, and I start with the implementation of Climate Change Action Plan. Honorable Speaker.
Which page is that?
2.
Page 2?
Yes.
Page 2. Proceed.
I'll start with the content of the report. Financial year 2023-2024. Honorable Speaker, the department was allocated a total budget of 335,400,400. The department was allocated a total budget of 335,004,000 shillings for the year under review, broken down as follows. 1 million, Roman 1. The allocation was as follows. Number 1, county contribution, 182 million. Number 2, County Climate Change Resilience Investment CCRI grant. The budget was implemented as outlined before. First quarter. During the first quarter, the department has successfully implemented the following programs. 1, training and capacity building, sensitization of the Assembly Committee on Delegated Legislation and county staff at a cost of 2.1,304,200 shillings. 2, hospitality services, hire of catering services in support of sensitization program at a cost of 3,004,500 shillings. 3, specialized training, 2 officers training on urban climate resilience at a cost of 176,800 shillings. 5, participation in the climate summit, 7 officers from the climate change department attended at a cost of 6,777 shillings. 400, participation in the climate summit, 7 officers from the climate change department attended at a cost of 6,777 shillings. PCRA action plan review, 4 officers participated in the review exercise at a cost of 392 shillings. Second, Roman 3.2, second and third quarters. During the second and the third quarter of the financial year, the department did not receive funding under the CSRI, and as such, no major activities were implemented with this framework. Roman 3.3, fourth quarter. Training and capacity building. 10. In the final of the financial year, the department implemented the following programs. 1, training of trainers. Thoughts for Ward Climate Committee were trained across all 40 wards at a cost of 4,366,000. Consequently, 40 Ward Climate Change Committee were fully trained and climate change proposal was subsequently delivered to the department. 11, staff capacity building. 23 members of staff received training at amount of 2.6 million. 3.4, County Climate Change Resilience Investment Grant, CCRI, Project Development Project 2023-2024. Honorable Speaker, according to the report forward to the County Assembly, the county government under the Climate Change Resilience Investment CCRI and achieved the following the year under the review. Irrigation project. 1, the construction of Nduluni Irrigation Well in Kinani Ward, Mavoko Sub-County, commenced on 6 May 2024 in the expected completion date of 31st August 2024. The project was allocated 6.4 million with a contract sum of 6.1,333,790. As at time of reporting, actual expenditure stood at 5,309,350 shillings. The project, which is benefiting 600 residents is on track and works ongoing. 14. The Miu Mwala irrigation well in Mwala Makutano Ward, Mwala sub-count also commenced on 6th May 2024 with a completion target of 31st August 2024. The budget allocation was 8.9 million, while the contract sum was 9.9 million, 8.9 million 533 shillings. An expenditure allocation was 8.9 million, while the contract sum, an expenditure of 7.6 million 203 shillings 210 has been incurred to date, with the project already benefiting 4,500 residents. Works ongoing, the project remains on course. 15. In Katangi Ward, Yata Sub-County, the Mwitasiano irrigation well project also began 6th May 2024. The project was allocated 14 million with a contract sum of 12,432,730. Actual expenditure has reached 7,342,500. The project is serving 2,000 beneficiaries. Works are on schedule. The project is progressing well. Number 16, the Kisiki irrigation well in Dalani Ward, Yata Sub-County, equally commenced on 6th May 2024 with a location of 8.9 million. The contract stands at 6.4 million 7 shillings, with actual expenditure of 2.4 million 214,130. The project is set to benefit 3,400 residents in ongoing and on track. Number 17, the Kawauni irrigation well in Kangundo North, Kangundo sub-county was allocated 9 million with a contract of 7.2 million 602,041 shillings. However, no expenditure has been recorded as the payment process in ongoing. The project, targeting 2.3 thousand beneficiaries, is on track. Number 18. Similarly, the Mangani irrigation well in Upper Kaiwa Ward, Kathiani sub-count, allocation 7 million, project cost 6.6 million 946,000, and the Kwa Committee irrigation well in Matungulu North, Matungulu sub-count, allocation of 7.5 million, project cost 7.5 million. I've recorded no expenditure to date, though both projects are on track with payment processes underway. The projects will benefit 1,100 and the project will benefit 1,100 and 1,400 residents respectively. Number 19, in Kola Ward, Kalama Sub-County, the Chamunyu River irrigation began on 6th May 2024 with an allocation of 12 million and a project cost 10,103,578 shillings. Actual expenditure in 7,277,460. The project is serving 900 residents and works are ongoing. Number 20. The Inyoni River irrigation well in Mutituni Ward, Machakos sub-count, was allocated 8.5 million with a project cost of 8.5 million 710 shillings. Actual expenditure stands at 4.4 million 528,082 shillings. The project is set to benefit 1,900 residents and is on track with works continuing. Number 21, the Kaliala where in Mudesia Ward, Masinga sub-count, received an allocation of 9.5 million with a contract cost 8.6 million 502,002 shillings. only 1.6 million, 3.2 thousand 50 shillings as expended so far. The project is set to serve 800 beneficiaries and is ongoing. Number 22. In the Lower Kaiwa Yatta sub-county, the Kwaka survey were commenced on 6th June 2024. The budget allocation was 13 million, with a contract sum of 12 million 3,000. Sorry. The budget allocation was 13 million with a contract sum of 12 million. Actual expenditure is 7,475,840 shillings. The project intended to benefit 800 residents is on course. Number 23, the Vinu were in Mitaboni ward. Kathiani sub-county, allocation 9 million. Project cost 8.9 million, 697,000. Has not yet recorded expenditure, though the project is on track with the payment processing ongoing. It is expected to benefit 1,200 residents. Environmental services and supplies. Number 24. The county also undertook the provision of environment and social impact assessment and hydrological survey services for medium risk projects, which budget of 2.9 million. The project cost and actual expenditures stood at 1.1 million. The services are ongoing. In addition, the several countrywide supply and distribution initiatives were completed within May and June 2024. These include 1. The supply and distribution of fruit tree seedling valued of 9.4 million 900 The supply and distribution of fruit tree seedling valued at 9,495,000, targeting 1,800 households. Though complete payment is still processed. Number 2, the distribution of traditional food crop seeds, tubers, and vines at a cost of 13.9 million, benefiting 200 households. This project has been completed with full disbursement of funds. Number 3, the distribution of assorted tree seedlings worth 8.7 million, which has benefited 8,000 farmers. The project is fully complete and paid. Number 5, the supply of 1,206 solar lamps costing 14,832,000, which benefited 1,260 households. The project is complete and fully paid. Number 6, the distribution of 1,300 cooking stoves countywide, valued at 7.993,000, benefiting 3,000 households. This project is complete and fully paid. The provision of 9,706 hermetic grain storage bags at a cost of 23,424,000, benefiting 9,760 farmers. The project is complete and fully paid. Number 8, the distribution of 148 branded 10,000-liter double-layered plastic water tanks across the county, valued at 14,430,000. These have benefited 148 institutions, with the projects complete and fully paid. The key issue highlighted by the committee from the review of the Climate Change Resilience Investment CCRI program, the following issues were observed. 1, incomplete irrigation project. Most projects were ongoing but had not yet achieved full financial absorption. 2, cost variation. Certain projects recorded variation in contract sums, either exceeding or falling below the initial budget allocation. 3, supply and distribution project. while projects involving the supply and distribution of seeds, solar labs, water tanks, and cooking stoves were successfully completed. Delays were noted in the processing of payment. The committee requested the chief officer to respond on the matters arising from the report and consequently received a response on the same, which is highlighted below. Response from the department. Number 1, irrigation project. Most irrigation projects were ongoing, but not at, irrigation projects. Most irrigation projects were ongoing, but had not yet achieved full financial absorption. This was largely due to delayed payment and the practice of making interim payment based on work completed. 2, cost variation. Some projects recorded cost variation with contract sum either exceeding or falling below the initial budget allocation. These were attributed to inflationary pressures, market price fractions, and in certain cases, design review. Number 3, supply and distribution project. Projects such as supply and distribution of seed, solar lamps, water tanks, and cooking stoves were successfully completed. However, there were delays in payment processing occasioned by delayed disbursement of funds. Number 28, the executive also provided documents showing the distribution of water tanks, cooking stoves, seedlings with beneficiaries and allocation. For the document, the committee observed as follows. Distribution of hermetic bags. Number 1, not all wards were incorporated in the distribution, and the criteria into which the distribution was done was not clear. Number 2, only a few beneficiaries, representatives were captured through sign-up sheets, raising concerns about the actual number and the identity of the beneficiaries. 3, the records only captured beneficiary representatives' names and national identity cards numbers without personal phones numbers, making it difficult to the committee to verify authenticity. 5, the actual cost of the hermetic bag were not indicated, raising concern over value of money. Distribution of solar lamps. 1, the sign-up sheet did not indicate the quantity of lamps allocated to be specific beneficiaries. 2, the department relied solely on ID for sign-off without including beneficiaries' phone contacts. Distribution of stoves. 1, some wards such as Kalama lacked complete beneficiary details. 2, the department recorded only ID instead of personal phones. Cost of stoves was not indicated. Distribution of water tanks. The department did not provide details, the criteria used to identify beneficiaries. 2, the cost of the tanks was not indicated. Committee observations. Honorable Speaker, the department was allocated a total budget of 335,400,000 for the financial year. Under review, this comprised of 182 million from the county contribution and 153,400 under the county climate change resilience. Upon review the expenditure report, the committee observed that the current expenditure accounted for only 10.65 million, representing about 3.2% of the total allocation. These funds were applied to training and capacity building for staff and ward climate World Climate Change, Committee Hospitality in support of sensitization programs, participation in the National Climate Summit and specialized training sessions. The committee notes that these interventions were intended to strengthen institutional capacity and enhance the technical competence department officers and stakeholders. In contrast, development expenditure amounted to approximately 92.5 million, or 27.6% of the total budget. This went toward the construction of 12 irrigation wells across various wards, environmental and social impact assessments, hydrological surveys, and the distribution of seedlings, solar lamps, energy-saving stoves, hermetic storage bags, and water tanks. The committee observed that this initiative directly benefited households, institutions, and farmers, thereby enhancing climate resilience and supporting sustainable livelihood. However, despite the significant CCRI allocation, the considerable portion of funds remained unabsorbed or pending disbursement of the close of the financial year. This reflects delays in project implementation and payment processing, with hither timely realization of development outcome. Specific observations are as follows. Irrigation project. Irrigation initiative holds strong potential to transform local agriculture. However, several remain at interim stages. Projects such as Mwala and Inyoni river irrigation wells have experienced cost overruns, pointing to weakness in the cost estimating and financial controls. Financial management. Payment delay remain a recurring challenge. While a number of projects have been completed, all are progressing well. Contractors and suppliers continue to await disbursement, creating risk of stalling all slowed implementation. Variation between contracts and actual expenditure are largely attributable to staged payment of ongoing work. Distribution project. Completed supply and distribution initiative, including seedlings, stoves, solar lamps, hermetic bags, and water tanks, have reached thousands of farmers and institutions with tangible contribution to climate resilience. However, the absence of comprehensive schedule of beneficiaries limits accountability and equitable distribution across world. Impact to reach. Overall, more than 40,000 individuals and institutions have directly benefited from CCRI interventions, underscoring the significant community coverage and impact. Monitoring and evaluation. Current monitoring and evaluation mechanisms are weak. Most irrigation projects are reported as on track without clear indications or measurable milestones, making it difficult to assess actual process. Committee recommendation. Honorable Speaker, the committee recommends as follows. 1. Improve and strengthen budget absorption. The department, in collaboration in the donor, FLOCA, should institute measures to enhance budget absorption and the county climate change resilience framework. Particular emphasis should be placed on ensuring the timely disbursement and utilization of funds, noting the delay experienced during the year were largely due to late disbursement by donor towards the close of the financial year. Number 2, enhance project implementation capacity. The department should address delays in project implementation by strengthening procurement, contract management, and monitoring system to ensure projects are completed within the timelines. Number 3, enhance financial control and planning. The cost overrun The cost overruns noted in some irrigation projects indicate weakness in cost estimation and financial controls. Stronger planning and feasibility assessment should be conducted before allocation to minimize budget variation. Ensure value for money. Value for money audits should be conducted, particularly for high-cost development projects, irrigation work, distribution of input, to confirm that physical progress and outcome match the allocated the disbursement funds, capacity building and capacity building and continuous training of staff and world climate change committees should be prioritized to strengthen technical expertise in climate change, adaptation and resilience. Completed supply and distribution initiative should be accompanied by sustainability measures such as training farmers and agronomic practices, ensuring proper use of solar lamps and supporting institutions with water tank maintenance. Monitoring, evaluation, and oversight. 1. A monitoring evaluation framework should be established, incorporating clear milestones, periodic progress reports, and beneficiary feedback mechanism. 2. The county assembly should be recognized and involved as key stakeholder in project selection, monitoring, and oversight in line with its constitutional mandate. 3. Standardized documentation should be adopted across all projects with records capturing fully beneficiary details, name, ID numbers, contacts, word, quantity received, and signatures. To ease verification audit, disclosure of actual unit costs for distributed items, e.g. hermetic bags, solar lamps, stoves, water tanks should be made to enhance accountability. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. That is very elaborate. Honorable Member, I now invite members to debate this motion. Honorable Amaida.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and the Honorable Chair and the Vice Chair. I'm a member of that committee, and Honorable Speaker, I just want to be very brief on this report. 2-3 key issues have come up once again that came up yesterday when I was presenting the report on the implementation report on the various projects. And Madam Speaker, I don't want to belabor so much because the report is self-explanatory. And there are 3 issues that are coming up. 1, Madam Speaker, untimely award to projects of projects to contractors. Madam Speaker, you've heard the report. There is a time they are saying the contractor was awarded at almost towards the tail end of June, which means that the financial year was almost ending. And up to date, Madam Speaker, that project has never been completed. And we are not talking about 2024-2025 financial year, of which at the moment we are in 2025-2026. We are in 2022, we are talking about 2023-2024 financial year projects. And all what we are being told is that some of those projects, especially wares, are still ongoing, Madam Speaker. We need to ask ourselves, was there a need assessment before we started these wares? And Madam Speaker, if this contractor was given this job towards the tail end of June of 2023, the purpose of a ware is to store water so that it can help the residents that have been mentioned in the report. But on the contrary, we are seeing from 2023 to date, that way is still ongoing. Is it serving the purpose? Madam Speaker, that is an outright no. A very big no. Because the budget for that financial year has already lapsed. And we have another financial year, 2023, 2024, 2025, that whose budget has already lapsed. So this leaves this house in a very awkward situation. And I can say this, Madam Speaker, I regrettably, say, I don't think I'm in the right committee. Because this committee knows how much we struggled to have the FLOCA and the donor-funded funds channeled to Machakos County Assembly, Machakos County Government. But the kind of reports that we are getting, Madam Speaker, are quite worrying, even to us as a committee. It makes no logic as to why we had to ban midnight oil to have the same given to the county government. Two, Madam Speaker, on the issue of the project financing, Madam Speaker, some of the amounts that are being said in this report are worrying. It seems like we are losing the value of R1 million. If you compare county-funded projects vis-a-vis national government projects of the same magnitude, Madam Speaker, in terms of the deliverables, there's a very big difference. If you give, for example, the amount, R1 million, I really need to know what is the value of R1 million. Some of the wares that we are being told costed 7, 8 million, 9 million shillings. Madam Speaker, I want to give a practical example. We once did a site visit at a ware in Kalama and another ware in Kangundo, West East Ward. And I can confirm to you today, Madam Speaker, those wares, today as we speak, and they are allocated almost about 8 million shillings. They are not functional. They have already been washed away. So there's no value for money. So the amount of money that is being allocated to some of these projects, Madam Speaker, must be looked into. Otherwise, there might be a scheme that one day will hound people when they are out of office. And finally, Madam Speaker, the issue of payments is the elephant in the room. Madam Speaker, why do you procure and then you're not able to pay contractors? It means that we continue increasing our wage bill. And it is very unfortunate that the department is telling us services which were supposed to have ended on 30th of June 2024, to date have not even been cleared fully. They are still ongoing. That means our wage bill is increasing. So it is unfortunate that, Madam Speaker, this department is letting us down. And I can tell you, Madam Speaker, without any fear of contradiction, if this department does not check its operations, we stand to lose the donor funding monies. That I can tell you without any fear of contradiction, Madam Speaker. If this department does not go ahead and tell us and use the right figures to do the right jobs that are quantifiable, Madam Speaker, I can tell you, without any fear of contradiction, we are going to lose the donor funds. Madam Speaker, it is the same department that even reported to us. They planted trees through the climate change program worth 35 million shillings. Madam Speaker, members were here seated complaining and asking, the type of trees which were supplied by that department are the cheapest seedlings that you can afford in the market. And here the department comes us and tells us they have spent 35 million shillings. Madam Speaker, unless I'm losing value in terms of Kenyan money, R1 million is too much. And that 5 million translates to almost about 1 million tree seedlings in every ward. And with what was supplied in my ward, it cannot even account for even 50,000 shillings. So there leaves a lot of questions, and Madam Speaker, I want to ask of this House. If we are not going to be careful about this department, honorable members present here, we are going to lose the donor funding money, and it will be a very big blow to this county. And as a committee that we fought so much to have the works, the monies come to Machakos County. I support the report and its recommendations, and once it lands in my committee, Madam Speaker, I will do justice to it. Thank you.
Honorable Maida, as you sit and I can see the frustrations that are on your face concerning the department, I just urge the committee to oversight. That's the way to go. Your committee, let it oversight the department of the executive. There's no other way we are going to get this value of money you're talking about. There's no other way we are going to check on these wage bills. There's no other way we are going to look at delays in payment other than through the committee that is supposed to oversight that particular department. So that's the thing. It's now it's us as an assembly who have failed. Okay? All right, let me have more contribution. Honorable Helen Detty, Honorable Mwanga.
Madam Speaker, I stand here to congratulate the committee for a well-articulated report, but the report is a bit disturbing, and especially when we listen to their recommendations where they are saying that they were absorption rate, first of all, was very low. Secondly, there were delays in procurement. I do not understand why all those delays. Third, monies for capacity building of the staff who are supposed to execute the projects, only 10% was absorbed. I think it's the high time that the committee takes this department to task and ensure that they work for the benefit of the people of Machakos by ensuring that any money that is allocated is utilized on time. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member.
Point of order, Madam Speaker. Point of order. Madam Speaker.
Which point?
It's on, I'm sure it's about extension of
Statement
time.
of facts.
Yeah.
The morning plenary, Madam Speaker, ends at 12:30.
Yeah.
We are at 12:20 something, and I was just urging caution that we keep our comments.
Okay.
And then we
so
continue, because
that
I also
are
want to
within
contribute.
time.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Right. Then I would ask members who are contributing, take the shortest time possible so that we don't bypass our time. Honorable Mwanga.
Madam Speaker.
Honorable Matthew. Yeah.
Madam Speaker, I want to start by thanking the Almighty God for restoring my health. There was a time I was weak and unsure whether I will be back to this assembly. Madam Speaker, I was in this assembly last on 6th, if I'm not wrong, of August. And that makes it 2 months from then. Madam Speaker, on the issue of the report which has been tabled, it is an eye-opener to the members of this assembly. And to some of us, this report is vindicating some of us who have been saying that this government is stealing from its people. Madam Speaker, I happened to visit the where in the Kaliala where in Mudesia Ward. That is on a day we had a public participation there. Madam Speaker, this where was allocated 9 million. And Madam Speaker, the width of the embankment of the weir, it is less than a meter. The length of the weir is less than 10 meters. And the depth is less than 4 meters. And it is taking away 9 million. Are we losing the value of our money? Madam Speaker, I think given 10 million or 9 million, I can do a lot, although I'm not an engineer. Madam Speaker, for the members who had an opportunity to come and see me when I was hailing, they passed through a vented drift, which I did myself, and it costed less than 8,000. But if it were to be costed, and Honorable, the members who visited me can attest, if it was to be costed by these county engineers, they would have given it over 5 million. Madam Speaker, this report, I want to say it again, it is vindicating some of us. This is pure theft by the Department of Water. Madam Speaker, the report which has been tabled, it is talking about a weir in Lower Kaewa, and they are saying it is in Nyata sub-county. Madam Speaker, I think, yeah, it is not number 22. No, even if it is a typo, that is what has been tabled, and it was not raised. Madam Speaker, on the issue of cooking stops, I want to say, yes, they were disputed through all the wards, but I can attest, even today, the cooking stops which were given in Masinga, they are still in the store. They have not reached the beneficiaries. Madam Speaker, that is true. And the cooking stoves for Kiva Ward, they are stored at the Department of Education offices, which are not count offices. Madam Speaker, I know you have powers. You can send the committee or some members of staff to go and ascertain what I'm saying, whether it is true. And that year, we are getting a report that these cooking stoves reached the beneficiaries. That is not true. Maybe in some wards, but in Masinga and Kiva, that is the situation. Madam Speaker, the report says there are no contacts of the beneficiaries. Why? So that the auditors cannot get the facts. Yes, that is what the report is saying. The report is saying there are no contacts. That is telephone numbers for the beneficiaries. That is what is in the report. I'm not cheating. It is what is in the report. Why? Why are the contacts not there? So that they can hide who are the beneficiaries, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I think this report is a wake-up call to the members. Let's not just sit here and be rubber stamps to the executive. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Matthew Ndunda.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Matthew Ndunda, Kanguno North Ward. Thank you, Vice Chair, Environment. You have executed the report very well, and indeed it was well. However, I was shocked as matters of Kanguno North, Kawauni, where the where was allocated 9 million. Madam Speaker, if you dare to go to that place, I'm so disappointed. Already the where, there is no water. I hear the beneficiaries are over 3,000, but indeed, that is a nightmare. Because, in fact, I tried to reach to the place, but if you try to see where the 9 million are, you ask yourself, is it a nightmare or is it real? So it was my concern, if possible, the committee try and visit the place, that is Kawauni, place called Kwamwilile, and confirm through the chair, through the vice chair, through the members, and at least ascertain if really the 9 million being mentioned in the paperwork is on the ground. I rest my case.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Let's give Honorable Majority and give you Honorable Majority.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I don't regret to be a member of that committee. Mheshimiwa Maitha says he regrets to be a member of that committee. Maybe he's inviting the chair of the selection committee to, let me not finish. I want to recommend the committee for a detailed report, and I think that is why members are able to react the way they are reacting. I'm also happy that members are raising very specific questions in regard especially to their awards. But we cannot condemn the whole program, the FLOCA program, in wholesome. There have been a lot of success stories from the FLOCA program, and that is why the program itself, through their external auditor, is it called KMPG, ranked Machakos as among the best performing in terms of utilization of the FLOCA funds and even absorption. But that's not to say that we are the perfect county. There's still room for improvement. I even want to suggest that this assembly, and especially the members of the Environment Committee, that we be involved more in terms of how to expedite the fund. Number two, one of the challenges we notice is the donor funding is very much delayed. And some of us who have executed donor funding is, you match a donor funding. If they bring 10%, you do your prorated if it is 1%. So the delays in terms of procurement, the delays in terms of payment of bills has not only been occasioned by the part of the government, but also on the delays by the donor in releasing the fund. I wish we had a lot of time on this report. I can see, Madam Speaker, you're looking at your clock. But overall, I think the utilization and the value for money for the Flocker Fund is highly appreciated by the people of Machakos. I hear, Mheshimiwa Dominic, when you signal that we might lose the donor funding. But I will tell you this, these are conditional grants. You meet so many conditions before you get the amounts. And in that case, Machakos County government has been able to meet so many of these conditions. We have seen a lot of counties fall on the way that you have not reached this stage and they have not been able to access the money. I am confident in the coming years, because of our performance in this program, we are going to access even more funding. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Our time is up, but I would request, can we continue with this debate next week? We can continue with the debate. Yeah, because time is up. I still have the member to and also the mover to respond. Why don't you?
Speaker, the reason is why it's like you've read my mind.
Yes.
Honorable Speaker, this is a very critical report.
Okay.
And if 3 or 4 members have already raised issues on this report, it is not a must that we must dispense this business today. We need other members to come and air their views on what has been mentioned in the report. Is it the actual situation on the ground? And that's why I seek to have this report weedified so that we can have continuation of debate next week, Madam Speaker, so that we can dispense it completely. And as a finalizer, I want to tell the majority leader, I have no regrets even to be a member, to be out of the Environment Committee. If it's not delivering, I don't regret. Because being in a committee that is bringing reports of this nature, I don't regret at all, Madam Speaker. And finally, there's a saying that when a blind, you are working on groundness for a blind man, you have to keep on whistling so that the blind man doesn't know that you are eating his or peanuts. I submit.
Honorable members, we are going to continue with this debate next week because it seems that there are more issues coming up. So we are not going to put the question, and we are not going to respond to the mover is not going to respond today. So the matter is deferred to proceed in our next meeting next week. Thank you, honorable members.
Madam Speaker, though I don't know whether I will be in order, Madam Speaker, I know you are making a ruling that we are adjourning and coming again at 2:30. And Madam Speaker, today is a big day for the major parties of this assembly. Madam Speaker, in the afternoon, I know major parties will be presenting their candidates at high EBC offices, and we may find ourselves having no quorum. I'm seeking your indulgence. You can invoke standing order number 1 and give a direction on that so that we may have no embarrassment in the afternoon for lack of quorum. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, it becomes very disgusting when a ranking member of this assembly, who served as a majority leader, to introduce such a topic which is totally out of order of this house. It is not the business of this assembly to know what is being presented where or what. We already have elected members of this assembly. Those who will come and find us moved to the next level. It is totally out of order. And I think, Madam Speaker, ranking members should serve as an example, even to newcomers, so that they can learn, because I don't expect that from him.
Thank you. Honorable members, we are out of time. The House adjourns to Wednesday, 8th of October, 2025 at 2:30.
My work is easy because I use ClickUp. Here's how I keep track of all my tasks. I start by brain dumping everything I need to get done.